Yeah. What's up, guys? Good evening, good morning. I don't know where you're at, where you listen to this. More than likely, it's morning. We are wrapping up a ruckus Friday night of baseball. Getting ready for a Saturday of baseball. A lot of games. Kind of like all day long too. Got a bunch of games that are bunched up. There's like 6 games between 1 and 3 my time, so 2 and 4 Eastern. And then half and half on the night slate. So I like DFS slates like that, where you can kind of attack, assuming. Nope, main slate. Main slate on Fanduel kind of left that off, but it's okay. I guess there's 15 games altogether, so we'll get to researching, we'll get to chopping it up. We'll get all of our tabs open, start cracking the book. Hopefully come away with some valuable information. Tonight, kind of a weird night. Like stack of the night was going to be the Houston Astros. Jack Kachenowicz, 6 earnings for him. Then out of the bullpen, Michael Darrell Hicks gives up 4. And then Ian Anderson gives up 3 homers between those, which actually Garrett McDaniels came in and allowed a homer. They had 8 walks. 8 walks and 3 homers will often do it. So when you look at that Astro stack, it was a bottom of the order stack that really made some noise. Jeremy Pena, Yainer Diaz 3 for 5 with a bomb at 5 ribeyes. Jake Myers over 20, Cam Smith 28. If you played that lane of Astros, you own a time machine, is what it is. Tatis got him a homer, which is good. Yeah, I don't want jinx stuff. I don't. Well, I guess Tatis is today. If he's healthy, he's a beast. Wish he didn't do performance enhancing because he didn't need them. The Yankee game, dude, how weird was that? They ended up playing, but called it after 5. Duh. And during the 5 that they did play, the Giants dropped 9 on the head of Marcus Stroman. I'm a starter. Only got 2 outs. I never want to see him pitch again for the Yankees ever. I really do. I got nothing for that dude. Look, too little, too late. Robbie Ray 7 strikeouts and 4 innings on that one. He ended up being a great play. If Robbie Ray would have stuck around for 1 more inning, would have got through 5, even with the Ernie up. He did walk 4. But if he would have went through 5. He would have got the win, and he would have got complete game points. So that would have been really weird. People played him. He was still like not a terrible play, but the Yankees looking like human beings out there after that opening weekend. And then right now, Mets and Athletics still going at it. Mariners and the Rangers, Dodgers 3 up on the Cubbies. Brewers dropped 7. Brewers were my favorite place to be for prop betting. Yeah, kind of a run-of-the-mill day. I'm not rich. After today, I'll say that. What up, RC? What up, Pinstripe? What up, Dominator? Yeah, knee discomfort. Yeah. You know what? You guys know years back, I've been blocked on Twitter by 2 pitchers, and I'm not even that guy. I'm not even a you suck blah 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 guy. But the 2 pitchers that have blocked me, one is Trevor Bauer. This is when he was with Cleveland. And the other was Marcus Stroman when he was with the Blue Jays. And then when Marcus Stroman signed with the Yankees, I guess he unblocked everyone. I don't know, but I was unblocked in after that signing. And I was, all right, I'm rooting for him. He has a little pizzazz, a little attitude to him. You kind of like it. But in this offseason, when he was asked about being the 6th starter, he missed the class on how to talk. I'll show you guys what I'm talking about. And when I saw this, I don't care what he has done. I don't care if he came out and threw a couple gems. I no longer wanted this guy on my team after this.
Considering your pedigree, could you handle being a reliever?
The reporter's asking him, could you handle coming out of the bullpen? He doesn't even get to finish that sentence. I'm a starter.
I'm a starter.
So right now,
I'm a starter.
You're the 6th starter. So how do you handle that?
See how it plays out. I'm a starter.
You do not want to pitch your bullpen.
I won't pitch in the bullpen.
I won't pitch in the bullpen. Who is this guy? Oh my God. Even if that's how you feel, you don't say that. You say, I want to help this team win the best I could. You know what I mean? You give that answer. When he put that out there in that organization, I'm surprised Cashman didn't make him pack up before he went to bed. And the only reason I think that happened is because Luis Gil's injured, Garrett Cole's injured. It's just a really banged up pitching staff. And then for him to come out and drop the duds that he's dropped. Oh my God. I don't want him to pitch in a Yankee uniform again. I'm so done. I'm so done with that guy. Anyway, all right. That's the fandom rant. I'm sorry. I had to get it off my chest. Jeff Hoffman's dad. I like how Jeff Hoffman turned out good. Here, what up, G Money? Sure, that was great for team chemistry. Yeah, if I was on the team, if I was, Judge, he wouldn't do it. I feel like you could ask Judge. Judge, would you if Judge went 0 for 50 down July or something? It was would you mind, coming off the bench? Judge wouldn't want to do it, and I wouldn't want it. But Judge would be like, I'm willing to help this. I want this team to win anyway. You know what I mean? You just say, I want to help the team win. That's the answer to anything. What are we doing, bro? Anyway, we got a bunch of games today. I'm sorry, chat. I'm just gonna get it off my chest. But now that the Yankees have showed you guys they bleed red, and torpedo bats don't instantly make you bury Bonds. They just ran into a broken Brewers team. The World Series, which I may have said was back on, is now back off. This team needs to go out right now and get some pitching. Carlos Rodon, whatever. He's earned the right to suck and try to get better. Stroman, done with him. Will Warren, I mean, I don't even see the pedigree in it. We need Clark Schmidt back. I think Spencer Turnbull's out there. Go get that guy. No. We need to make stuff happen. If this team wants this window now, the pitching has got to step up. And Devin Williams, God bless him, supposed to be a consensus top 5 closer in baseball. You pick him up to move on from Clay Holmes's collapse as a dominant closer, and the appearances we get out of him looking like shaky Chapman, shaky Clay Holmes. But again, you got to get that man a couple games in a row to pitch. Right now, Yankees aren't in safe opportunities, dude. It's bad. So I don't know. Sandy Alcantara doing nothing. Go finesse them. Go get them. Make something happen. Like, don't wait. Don't wait. Judge ain't getting younger. Stanton's probably back soon, but I don't know. Tigers have a 4.3 run total. I put Chris Paddock as the Twins. The Twins have a 4.5 run total. Jackson Joe pitching for the Tigers. In 9 innings of work so far, less than an 18%. K, let me put the music back on. Gun out here going crazy. Rodon was just a bad selection of Stroman. Yankees can't pick. Rodon, you kind of knew what you were getting into. You look at the last 4 years, Rodon. When he's great, he's great. When he's bad, he's bad. Maybe not the guy I wanted. Like, I'm fine with Fried. God bless Fried. Rodon, shaky. He goes on stretches everywhere he's been, except he was on the West Coast. But at least with Rodon, you got the upside. Maybe they overpaid for the upside, and Stroman, you were just taking a floor. But Stroman was Stroman to me was more of a bad pickup just because he came with so much baggage, and there was no way that was going to end gracefully. It just wasn't. Unless Stroman had 2 Cy Young years and was great, that attitude will not stand up in the organization if you suck. It just won't. And that's kind of a Rodon's issue too. But I think he's learning from his first couple of collapses where you can't walk off that mound smiling after you give up 8. You get eaten alive. Both pitchers here, Paddock and Job, have not looked super sharp in small sample. Job dating back to Paddock dating back to the beginning of last season, just a 1 in 5 K rate, extremely high whip, high expected ERA. We'll go pull up numbers so far this season. Let's go Mets. Jesus. Hey man. Mets almost had me on full tilt to start tonight too, man. Like JP Sears. Might not strike me out. I'm hating. He would absolutely destroy me. But then they started with Lindor and Soto striking out. I was like, come on, bro. Sometimes baseball is just brutal, dude. You do all the research and the dumbest stuff happens. Yeah. What am I looking at right now? I want to go game log. 6 xFIP, 8 xFIP in the first 2 games. White Sox and Houston. Houston's whatever. White Sox, you shouldn't have an 8.8 xFIP. It just shouldn't happen. Swing and strike rate declined his first pitch strike against Houston 52%. So better than a coin flip, barely. And that's not what you want. Does get the benefit of the Detroit Tigers, but we have seen the Tigers kind of shock people lately with some runs. They put Gleyber Torres back in the mix, and he's been their leadoff guy. So the top of this lineup, quad A maybe, but Gleyber, Carpenter, Riley Green, and maybe even Torkelson if you neutralize that K rate, which you can with his 9% K rate so far to righties. I think that'll go up to like 18, but certainly. I say it, I expect bad hitting to beat bad pitching on a major league level, and the Tigers are kind of the lean here. So I'm gonna go Tigers. I probably want Twins over Tigers, but I want the offenses first. That's brutal, Caleb. That's brutal. Job is one of the he's a raw talent, dude. If you're a Tigers fan, Don't give up on Joe. He's a baby coming up. He's definitely got the talent. And it'd probably take a couple years for that to mature and be realized at the major league level. I mean, they threw him straight into fire last year, right? But until he gets there, we gotta just go with what we got. What we got is the elevated xFIP. Last game, the BABIP came back down to earth, 286, which resulted in 4 hits in 5 innings. Also gave up 3 walks there, 2 bombs in the first game against Seattle. You expect better numbers against the White Sox, like I said. And then his swing and strike rate was 6% against the White Sox. Not what you want. So yeah, until that trajectory starts going up. But I'm with you. I think there's something in there. It's just a matter of getting it out. This could just be the MLB The Show player in me that got wrecked by him last or 2 years ago. But you look at his pitch mix: 4-seamer, cutter, changeup, sinker, curveball, sweeper. The whiff rate on the cutter and changeup exceeds 30%. Small sample. Last year he didn't miss with the changeup, but again, I think so. This is the kid that came in the playoffs, right? He didn't really get a chance to grow. So hopefully you'll see a game by game, month over month improvement on him. Because generally, I think, like I said, I think it's pretty good. 366 Woba on the 4-seamer, it's not too bad. 420 on the changeup, blazing. The cutter has been really good for him. So I think he's one of those guys. If you agree that the talent's in there, I mean, you probably keep attacking him early in small doses against the field, because the field's likely to go off of, you know, these numbers, right? The expected ERA, the high walk rate, the low K rate. But he's better than that. Let's go look at his tonight. But understand there's going to be some growing pains, and until you get that, you know, you might get some rockiness. Under 3 ERA in his minor league career, 233 innings pitched, 261 strikeout, well over a strikeout per inning with a 1.14 whip. So it's really a matter of adjusting to the major league level, but it's in there. But like I said, we got to go off of what we got to go off of, and that's struggling at the major league level. But if you are a tournament player and you want to keep taking some shots at him, knowing and expecting and projecting that to come, go for it. I mean, it's there. Twins have certainly had some rough games with the ability to strike out. They did get Buxton back in the lineup yesterday. He was in the middle of the lineup. I think he got a big swing yesterday as well. So I'm kind of leaning on that. Job's at 8,100. What's the size of this early slate? 3 games with I mean, the pitching on this slate is like really meh, right? Chris Sanchez, maybe Jordan Hicks. I think there's gonna come a time soon where the people get too comfortable pitching against the Yankees because of their struggles, and that's when they drop 10. So Joe's right there in the thick of things. So I think on the 3-gamer, it's fine to play. I'm gonna throw him in the blender here. Chris Paddock, I thought was gonna be good years ago, but he just really has declined and not been fantastic. There are strikeouts in this Tigers lineup, don't get me wrong, but I don't think I'm there. Should we do some loose projections for pitching tonight? Why not, right? We'll pull up pitcher projections and get this cleaned up. We probably don't have much from the sports book, but we'll see what we can do. By the way, chat, my mic yesterday sucked on a live stream. No one told me that. Hopefully it's better now. Before I went live, I tweaked some stuff to make me sound louder. Or maybe I'm just old and deaf and I couldn't hear myself on the replay. Yeah. Go pitch props. Outs recorded. Yeah, not much for tomorrow yet. When is Lou Bob getting his first homer? I don't know. Who's he got today? that game? Where's that game at? Robert. There it is. He's got Richard Fitz. Maybe. Dude, there was a lot of high talent that was in the White Sox organization. Like whatever year they were trying to get Machado, and they loaded up on like they had Robert, Tim Anderson, Benintendi, I guess. Yohan Moncada. They had a squad, and then all those guys just started sucking like out of nowhere. I don't know what happened. Maybe I don't know. Oh man. Oh dude, we busted out I went to a Walgreens to see if they had some Ghost. I needed to get a leash and some chew toys for the dog. I was like, all right, I'll stop here. And they had Bang. So Bang went out of business or went bankrupt and got bought by Coca-Cola. And like part of the buyout was Coca-Cola couldn't use the same can designs or so. I don't know. So this is the black cherry vanilla I used to drink on all the streams, but it has a different can design via the purchase. I don't know. Dick Fitz. Eloy Jimenez, yeah. It was like Tony La Russa had something on all of them and it just ruined it. I don't know. All right, so for Jackson Jobe, let's give him an 18% K rate, but we all kind of understand that could go up. I'm gonna go 18%, and then I'm gonna go 12% on the walks. Were the walks a problem in spring? 5 and 14, 2. Yeah, walks were a problem. Command was definitely a problem. How bad was this command in the minor league level that this has followed him, or has it followed him rather? Yeah, it was kind of there. 2 homer walk prime 4. All right, so command, like you said, he gets that command going, which is easier said than done. So we're gonna give him, man, I think I'm gonna give him a 14% walk. There's a lot of high walk rates in this lineup. I'm gonna go 14%. I think it's only fair. Go 18 and 14. And then on the outs, I'm gonna go 15, a soft 15 here. Try to get through 5. Chris Paddock, I'm gonna give him I'll probably give him an 18% K rate. Try to get back to meeting in the middle from last season, and then I'll go 10% on the walk rate. So the Tigers don't walk quite as much, and then we'll also give him 15 outs for now. These are all just Lulu super soft projections, and then we'll come back tomorrow as we can and sweep it. But based off of that, we get less than 5 Ks for Jobe, less than 5 for Paddock, and lines aren't really even set right now, so the market's not marketing. The Mets game goes. What happened? Oh, the Athletics just got into, and former Yankee great Miguel Andujar gets into one. What am I sweating? I'm not really sweating anything, but I do have a couple of PrizePicks cards that might be live, but nothing like super lucrative, but just something to maybe draw a profit or come close to even. But I may be dead. I don't know. Oh, I need Frankie Lindor and a Vientos bomb at this point. I took Mark Vientos over 3.5 hits, runs, RBIs, just kind of heads in a super stack. And then Lindor, I need 1.5 more hits, runs, and RBIs. And then I need Lindor to do more because I got one card that's just waiting on him. I took JP Sears under 17 outs. I imagine that's locked. Oh, we cash. Okay, all right. Yo, PrizePicks come together here. If Lindor could do something, And then it would be really nice if Vientos shocked us with a bomb. I think the only way I get bailed out on that card is if Vientos homer, right? There's no other way he's going to get 4 hits plus. I guess he could get like a 3 RBI double or something. Or something like that, you know? Move on from that. Appreciate everybody hanging out tonight. Double stream day. Yo, I appreciate y'all yesterday, and if you're watching this on playback, yesterday was a pleasant surprise. We hit almost 70 concurrent, which is, dude, even in my heyday, I probably wasn't drawing that for baseball. And I started looking around at other live numbers. And obviously, I'm not going to come close to the big boys. And I don't feel like this is a super polished show. I'm really just probably doing what you guys do. So the love is real and it is not unappreciated. So thank you guys. You guys are also conflicting on whether or not you want day or night stream. So I think on days when there's way more night games, those days might be more live for daytime streams. And then on days like, you know, leading into Sundays where there's the whole league plays at noon or something like that, maybe those days for sure we'll do the night before. You know, a little something for everyone. But we knew this was going to be a fluid situation when I launched it. And you guys have just been cool. Chris Sanchez versus Miles Michaelis, Phillies and Cardinals. Phillies have a 4.5 run total. Cardinals 3.7. Chris Sanchez, pretty good to start the season. 11 innings for him. 34% K rate with a 16% swing and strike rate. That's what you want. And this guy is your priced ace of the early slate. So that likely is accompanied by the highest ownership on the slate because he likely gives you the highest floor. And on a 3-game slate, and some slates that are a little bigger, that's what you just want floor. You want double digits out of your pitcher, and Sanchez has been good. Rockies will always inflate your stats, but you walk away from a game against the Dodgers with an 88% first pitch strike, a 17% swing and strike rate. That's pretty good. So I'm willing to buy into it. The xFIP has been great in both games. Not much to not like in that sample. The pitch count's been around 90, and the one that he let up was against Teoscar, and Teoscar is just a goat, except tonight when I need him to hit a homer. But whatever, I'm not salty. Yeah. So instantly we go to Chris Sanchez interest. Gets the benefit of Busch Stadium, which does suppress homers to righties 14% less than league average. And you know, that's kind of been his bugaboo so far, is some power to righties. Out of curiosity though, see if we can pull up some minor league numbers to see how fake or great this is going. What up, Diego? Go to last season and split it up against lefties and righties. 93.1 inning, 142.2 innings against righties last season. 9 homers, that's pretty good. I'll take that all day. 38 walks, okay. 121 strikeouts, so way less than a strikeout per inning, like 20 less. So no surprise, we might expect some regression in the strikeout department. Like, he's probably not a 16% or 34% strikeout guy. With that in mind, I'm not getting off the train here, but I wonder if we might say that he's mispriced by the market. Now the market only has them at 5.5, and the juice is on the under. So, man, there's some smart people out there. All right. And then Miles Michaelis, we know what he is. Pure contact guy, inning eater. Used to make it hard on you. But not much anymore. The hard contact rate so far this season against righties has been really, really low, but lefties picking up where he left off. So this should be a huge spot for the Phillies bats. I think I put the Phillies above Chris Sanchez here. If it was a normal grand scheme of other slates, you know. And then, because it's a small slate, and I'm just expecting Chris Sanchez to garner the most ownership, you'd have to consider some of the problematic bats for the Cardinals against lefties. Wilson Contreras looking pretty juicy. You might get a fun click on him on Fanduel at under 3K. Baker, maybe Jordan Walker. So a couple of those guys. And if you are playing that 3-game DraftKings slate, you might even unlock a hitter or two against your pitcher. I'd probably want just one. But, yeah. So I'm going there. We're going to go cards Substack. GPP leverage play. Whatever. Let's do a soft projection here. So Sanchez, I'm going to bring that 34% down, though. I think a 25% is even generous if we expect him to kind of like in the minors, dude. Oh man, what was that swing and strike against the Dodgers? What did we say it was? 17. That just feels crazy. Versus what we're seeing in the minors, I'll say. 55% whiff on his changeup. Last year was at 34%. Anything super different about spin rate? It's about the same. Velo is a little up. I guess his velo's up on both pitches. It's up 2% on his sink, or excuse me, 2 miles an hour on his sinker. Kind of the same on the changeup. Same on the slider. We've been seeing a little bit of velo upticks for some guys. So we could point at that and say this is why he's missing bats all of a sudden. Maybe we don't completely jump off the strikeout. I think we meet in the middle. I think we go 24%. And then we go 6% on the walk. 7% on the walk. And with Michaelis, we know what we're getting out of him. I'll go 14% on the K rate and 5% on the walk. 14, 5. And then we'll just go 15 and 15 right now. It might go 15 on everyone we know is not like a super juiced up inning eater or ace. Michaelis will, if he's not getting blown up, he'll go out there and eat some innings. But right now, getting blown up is a problem. Michaelis would be the least likely pitcher I play on this slate because he doesn't even have like accidental strikeout upside. You know what I mean? Like, I guess even Chris Paddock's kind of the same. But Paddock last year was a 1-4 or 1-5 K rate guy, and we've seen him miss bats in the past. Michaelis, he could give up a 2-run. He could give up 2 runs and go 5.2 on DraftKings and might still only have 12 fantasy points, dude. If he, not getting strikeouts. So he'll probably be the lowest tier for me. So with that said, complete game, 3 strikeouts. 24 points. It's gonna be crazy. Really. All right. And then with Michaelis being such a contact guy, the line drive rate against lefties has been over 20% aggregate last 3 years, combined with a crazy hard contact rate. The fly ball rate's not like super sick, but it's probably got room to go up to closer to 40. So this is probably going to put some gangster Phillies on the top of the bomb detector once we get that going. Just out of curiosity, do we already got 4s with Schwarber and Harper? Schwarber's knocking on the door. Is he getting taxed by the ballpark? Bush doesn't keep lefties in as much, 3% less than league average. So I could get down with over 1.5 total bases on Schwarber on a Bryce. You know what I mean? The hard contact pod. Yeah, what up, Chronic? Yo, Chronic, you ever get to that? You said you were doing landscaping. How's that going? Decorating the backyard, getting a water fountain statue. It's just a naked Tom Brady shooting a water spout through his mouth or something. I don't know. Kissing his child on the lips or something. I don't know. It just got this video just got flagged by YouTube. Nice. It's a reference to what he did. God dang it. Next up, Giants and the Yankees. It's a weird sentence to say. 5-inning game yesterday. Hit the showers. Just get it over with. Yankees weren't even trying to. Yeah, no, we can finish it tomorrow. No, let's just. It's done. Go. Don't look at me. So we did see Ryan Yarbrough come out yesterday and do some long relief work, essentially, in the rain. So I would feel like it's unlikely that he would be available today, unless he needs to get like one out on like a lefty, maybe a Yastrzemski or something. But actually, Timmy Hill pitched yesterday too. They used 2 lefties, but Timmy Hill probably didn't throw as much. We got Will Warren towing the slab in the boogie down Bronx. Giants with a 3.8 run total. Yankees 4.3. Jordan Hicks, 11.1 innings for him, a 23.5% call strike rate, but just an 8.6% swinging strike. I feel like there's room to meet in the middle. Now I think I got a little too excited, or maybe I didn't. Maybe I just haven't realized it yet. When Jordan Hicks first started appearing in games this season, I was like, yo, I think Jordan Hicks' velo is back, and if his velo is back, look out. And it's back. But we haven't seen that in the strikeouts yet. His sinker's at 97.7 miles an hour. That's over 3 miles difference than last year, and that's what we knew Jordan Hicks for in years prior. It was extreme velo. It was a great bullpen piece. You know, good luck. And you expect velo guys, when they go out and start, to give up some of that velo, because you don't want to throw as hard so you can last a little longer. But now he's out here throwing gas again, and you would expect 98 miles an hour on a sinker to have more than 11.6% whiff rate, but it doesn't. But it does have a 316 WOBA, a 357 expected slug, and a 244 expected batting average, which all of those are actually higher than the actuality. So velo not necessarily instantly helping his case here, and that's likely just a lack of movement, if nothing else. So something to keep an eye on. It would be naked Braun held off on the big landscape and still might get some dude. My backyard, I haven't changed my screen yet. First of all, my backyard turned into a jungle randomly. I don't go out there that much. Well, I was in between dogs for the foster program, but now that I got Daisy, I went back out. I was like, oh my God, there's Jumanji out here. And I ain't built like that to go out there and mow some grass, but I already know that's gonna be a minimum $100 bill to get that under control. So I'm torn between spending a Saturday in the sun, getting it done, or sitting on the couch while we pay somebody to come do it. I don't know. Yankees against the splitter. How's that look? Or not the splitter, the sinker. I guess that registers as a fastball here, so I guess it really doesn't matter. How do you throw almost 100 on a sinker and it's like your worst pitch? That doesn't make sense. Like, that doesn't seem like it's gonna last. Weed grows fast in the spring, dude. I'm doing every game, Caleb, just to get it out the way. Yeah, dude. But before, so I don't remember the last time I mowed my grass. There's always somebody that knocks on the door and asks me to mow the grass, and I give them whatever, usually whatever they ask for. But going into last, like, maybe September, like, it was probably a strong 6 months. I didn't have to touch the grass, so like, it looked fine. And then a couple weeks ago, I was like, all right, it's time. Let some youngster cut it. Gave him $40. It ain't been but 3 weeks, and I got to cut it again, and the backyard is crazy. So it is what it is. Seattle and Houston. Seattle is a team that will give you strikeouts. Just a 60% first pitch strike, though. I see that come up a little bit, but like we said, his command looked a little bit better. The stuff plus against Houston, 123, 108 against Seattle, so that's absolutely there. Oh, dude, I'm just gonna be a sucker for the game Jordan Hicks comes out and throws for 10 strikeouts. It's common. Is it coming against the Yankees? I don't know. I don't know, man. I'm interested though. Let's go Hicksy. Jordan Hicks, top of my interest. Yankees next up. Will Warren, not even if there's a fire. By the way, Will Warren, not great. Less than a 10% swing strike rate so far. Last year, 10%. I'd say not great. He's just so average, and he's only here because we need a living, breathing body. Expected ERA going back to last year, 4.78. The whip is elevated. The walk rate to lefties, everything to lefties is such a problem. The Giants in their projected just 4 lefties, but they threw Yastrzemski in the leadoff spot yesterday and Jung-Ho Lee in a 3-hole. That's like, yeah, that's like real quick. Will Warren's gonna learn today. And then after that, he might be able to muscle his way through. But that 1 and 3. And Jung-Ho Lee got Stroman pretty quick. And if Will Warren's going to struggle getting them out, man, I don't know. Yankees are minus 135. Let's go do a soft projection here if we can. We're starting to get more out, it looks like. Let's see if we can get an outs projection for... Wait, oh, we do got Michaelis. But they're giving Sanchez 18 essentially. 200 on the over 17.5. Michaelis at about 16. So let's go fill that out while we can. So we're gonna go 18 on Sanchez. Michaelis 16.5, we said, right? And while we're here, Hicks and them aren't on the slate yet, or aren't listed yet. I'm gonna give Hicks probably 5.2. Meet in the middle of his first 2 games. So we'll just go 17 outs for now. We'll see what the field puts it at for Hicks, and then Warren will go pitch count 87, 85. They need length. I'm gonna put him at 15 for now. So we're gonna go 17.5, 15. And then all this is likely to just be flipped upside its head tomorrow. Jordan Hicks coming in with a 44% K rate. I'll leave it at that. I think it's fair, but I think that has room to be higher. And Will Warren 24 as well. Walk rate for Hicksy is a problem. We'll put him at a with last year against lefty in mind, we'll put him at 8. And for for Warren against 4 lefties, we'll put him at 10. Hicksy off of that gives me 6.25 on strikeout prop. What we have seen a lot of strikeouts out of the Yankees lately. Is there a line for Hicks? Doesn't look like it. No, not yet. All right. All right, Caleb. Hope you get some good rest. How's the DFS season been so far? Kind of all over the place. Because I've been so busy, a lot of times I have to leave. So some slates I've just been grinding props. And some slates I've been grinding DFS. The other night and some nights I try to grind DFS and Fanduel's like, are you sure you're not on Mars? Because we're not sure. Could you prove it? I'm like, I can't register. So one of these nights I'm gonna flip DraftKings up on his head. Fanduel don't want it. All right, let's go early. Let me see something. Fanduel just have a bunch of dumb slates. I don't even know how to split the projections for. Fanduel has a very early only, which is these 3 games. So this is the same as DK. So we'll do the early pitcher projections tab. And as such, and then the early stack rating tab. As such. That didn't give me New York. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Where's New York at? There it is. So the Yankees actually came up on top, probably Judge related. Then the Twins, Phillies, Detroit, San Francisco, and St. Louis. All right, that's your early stuff. Now we move our attention to 4 p.m. Eastern. Dude, Lindor's a bomb. Just kidding. Selling me though. He's selling me. Now there's an afternoon slate, but we might actually have to create yet another tab. We're gonna duplicate this and call this afternoon stack rating. There's just gonna be way too many tabs, and then we're gonna duplicate this and call this afternoon pitching future projections, and we need to lock it. So for this afternoon slate of games, we're gonna start the party with the Athletics and the Mets that are still playing right now. So some of this is subject to change. Jesse Wanka. We got David Peterson towing the slab for the Mets. Athletics are going to be throwing JT Ginn. Mets with a 5.2 run total. Athletics at 4.6. 34 innings last year of JT Ginn. A 1-in-5 K rate, 4.59 expected ERA, 1.32 WHIP. Struggled with lefties in every facet. JT Ginn. So let's see if that is consistent with his minor league stuff. Top prospect, ex-Met. Okay. Little revenge. In deeper sample, 56.2 innings against lefties last year. 293 average, 162 whip. 10 homers in 56 innings. That's not great. Does he pitch in like the PCL or something? Like this is Las Vegas Aviators. I think so. Against righties, 78 innings, 7 homers, 259 average, 1.3 whip. Looks like this whip is a problem. Less than a strikeout per inning against righties. Less than a strikeout per inning against lefties. Wow. 24 walks against lefties with a 293 average, 10 homers, while having a 1.5 ground out to air out ratio. It's a 3 true outcome pitcher here. And then when he brought that to the majors, the ground ball rate was still there, but so was the homers and everything else. The walks weren't as much. That's a good sign. But if you're gonna be a contact pitcher in this park with a little bit of a home run problem, particularly the lefties, it's a good spot for Juan Soto, Lindor. Brandon Nimmo homered yesterday. Here we go right back to the Mets. They're playing a PCL park now, yeah. It shows. David Peterson, 25% K rate for him so far this season in 10 innings. Barrel rate's not what you want. The swing and strike rate, inconsistent with the K rate, but I guess not really, because the call strikes up 4%. It kind of compensates for the dip in swing and strike rate, but I kind of expect that to level out going forward. This is an Athletics team that in the projected offers up enough strikeout potential to at least look his way. but you got to see that whip come down. And this park is not forgiving if you got base runners. We're seeing that every game we get more data on this park, and I think it's about time for me to adjust these park factors a little bit more, so that it shows in the projection. But even without adjusting these park factors lately, like we're still getting crazy stack ratings on Mets against them. I think Mets were close to the top yesterday, and I'm sure they're going to be at the top of this slate without touching that. But I think we're starting to get enough. But it's also like a combination of the park plus athletics pitching is so bad, not great. Who have the athletics pitch so far? Oh, Pete Alonso just got one. Dude, Lindor is selling me, bro. I needed Vientos to get into one. I guess there's still hope, but that's kind of like my only hope. But I think Lindor probably doesn't get another at bat at this rate. Let's see. Alonso was on one of my home run cards. Oh, Lindor, you dirty rat. What are you gonna do? What are you gonna do? Can't do nothing. I don't think I want to talk myself into pitching Peterson. I was like working on it. I don't know. Looking at the other options on this slate, it's gonna be Alcantara, Rasmussen, AJ Smith-Shaw. It falls off a cliff really fast, for sure. Put this over here. Toronto and Miami. Toronto is a hard team to go out there and get some strikeouts. The command has been a problem. He's got 8 walks in his last 2 games. That's not what you want. Yeah, he gives up bombs, particularly to lefties. Juan Soto, Brandon Nimmo could curtain call. Also, he walked lefties too, so this is a problem for him, as the projected walk rate against righties in this Mets lineup is like an aggregate 12%, 1 through 6. You might even get a sneaky Jesse Winker pop if he's around. I think yay or nay on David Peterson. Peterson has an elevated walk rate to righties. That's been a problem. Also a pretty good ground ball rate, but can leave him up. I'm gonna leave Peterson off my interest chart right now. We're gonna go athletics. Even if it does end up being a sub stack, just in and of themselves, Brent Rooker, Shea Langoliers, Miggy showing that pop. Miggy is 2,300 on Fanduel. Wow. And that's certainly his best split. I'm gonna go Substack though. Athletics have thrown behind JP Sears, Mitch Spence, Angel Perdomo, and Jose Leclerc. It's a 3-run deficit, so they probably don't get to Mason Miller. So Mason Miller would be... Mason Miller hasn't pitched since Saturday? Jeez. I'm gonna get you out of there. Looks like it's a pretty well everyone's probably. Well, Perdomo, this will be 2 days in a row from him. So you probably don't see 3 days in a row from him. Mitch Spence. Oh. And Leclerc. I would say everyone but Perdomo is probably open season tomorrow. And Perdomo's a lefty. So it ups the platoon likeliness 4 or 5 at bats for Soto. Not that it matters unless you bring in TJ McFarland. but none of those guys scare you. Moving on to the next game here. This game got postponed yesterday. Did they say anything about a doubleheader today? Usually the sites get all weird about that. Or maybe it's just the first game counts and the second game, whatever. Shigeano. Hopefully the weather kind of is cool for this one. So go check out my video for no, actually we kind of just skirted right over this yesterday, highly anticipating the postponement, and then kind of did that with the Yankee game too, but that didn't happen. Odin Francis on the bump for the Blue Jays. Rain game does reset the bullpen, or rain out resets the bullpen for them, but also you got to think about them if they do have to play 2 games. Sometimes that if the starter's getting shellacked, you make them wear it, kid, because we need this bullpen for the second game. But I don't think that's gonna happen here. Sagano up against Francis. Orioles have a run total of 4.3. The Blue Jays 3.9. Pretty similar to yesterday. So far, Francis continuing his trend of not giving up a great average to lefties, but allowing lefties to hit for power. Over a 1.5 aggregate home run per 9 the last 3 years. High xFIP, low strikeouts. Kind of interesting that he allows such a consistently low average, to be honest. Wonder why that is. I mean, that's consistent. And it's not like he has a super high ground ball rate. So does he have just like a crazy infield fly ball rate or what? Odin Francis. Batted ball for him. Take up dates July 29th. Okay, so no doubleheader. Yeah, I guess those division games, you got way more games to get in. No, 11% infield fly ball rate this year to lefties. 17 last year. So I guess infield fly ball rate, he's popping people up. 10% infield fly ball rate. Guess that's helping him. That right there is where torpedo bats will come in handy. So we're gonna go Orioles, Blue Jays. Don't think I get to either pitcher here. And if we gotta pick some homers, let's go check our Orioles pull air percentage or whatever. Batters outside, pitch handedness righty. Date. We can actually tighten this up a little bit. Let's go Blue Jays and Orioles. But really just Orioles. Cedric Mullins has the highest pull air percentage, and Ryan O'Hearn. And then the straight ground ball rates for them really low. So comparing those two data points, pre-flop, Cedric Mullins has been pretty, and that's just from this year. It could, you know, regress. But Cedric Mullins and O'Hearn doesn't strike out much. Neither does Mullins. So those would be two guys I would lean on to really take advantage of this low average but decent home run allowed. And I guess we can check some other stats of them individually. People from Dallas hating on Luka being traded situations. There's only two types of people that think the Luka trade was good. Lakers fans and Nico's family. No one else looks at that trade and is like, that makes actually a lot of sense. That's a win-win trade right there. It's pre-flop like the worst trade ever for an organization in more ways than one. I mean, even on a business scale. Exit velo for Mullins. Top 10% of the league in WOBA. Nice. 35% on the launch angle sweet spot percentage. You'd like to see that. 8% barrel. I'd like to see that into the double digits, but Mullins not really the guy that long term I expect to be a power hitter, but he looking pretty solid so far this season. %43% on the launch angle sweet spot. Dude, O'Hearn is consistent. All right, if I gotta pick one, it might be O'Hearn, even though his barrel rate is kind of low, but it kind of makes sense. You don't strike him out, which Bowden doesn't really strike out either, and he doesn't strike out. I'm looking at O'Hearn and Mullins. O'Hearn likely to bat third, so that's the two names I'm pulling away from there. Are those guys in a bomb detector yet? I feel like O'Hearn's got to jump up based on that, right? Yeah, Ryan O'Hearn's right up there. And Mullins, yo. Oh, I love being validated by my own data. I'm such a nerd. Dallas got the mean face. Yeah. I've already gone on that rant a little bit. All right, no pictures from that game for me, probably. Wouldn't shock me if Bowden Francis turned in a not horrendous output, but oh, inversely, like even if the Blue Jays against Sagano, would I have a ton of sample to go off of? I guess Sagano's was he's from KBO, right? Am I tripping? No, he was in Japan. And in Japan, he didn't have a high K per 9 either. So it looks like he's gonna be a really. We expect him to be this contact ground ball pitcher with those strikeouts and a walk problem. Vladdy's technically coming off a 2 days rest. Maybe he can do something. Santander, a little revenge narrative. But I think you just spray the talent there without a ton of sample on how to pick on Sagano. But Sagano looks like he's not going to be a massive power allowed guy. But he's also not going to be a massive strikeout guy. So you're just betting on talent, and a less than 4 run total kind of says that. So Orioles over Blue Jays, but both offenses before pitching. What up, Jimmy? Vlad Guerrero. Welcome to Yak in a Box. What a Yumbo Yak. Dude, Frankie Lindor, bro. It's just not mad. Just disappointed. Hoeing me out. Hoeing me out. Oh, wait. It's a flex play. Yeah, well. Whatever happens, happens. Let's move on. By the way, weathers for these first. You know what? I haven't been throwing pitcher projections together. I probably should, huh? Real quick, David Peterson. Let's get Peterson a. Let's go with 22% K rate with a. Let's go 9% walk rate. 22 and 9. We'll just go 15 down the line here, and then we'll go sweep. Whatever. I'm gonna go 19 for again strikeout. I'm gonna go 10 for walk. I'm gonna go 13.5 on outs for Francis. We're gonna go 22 and 10. Togano. I'm gonna push him up to 18. It's just some manual input. And 8.5 on the walk. And let's give them both 15 for now. We'll take a peek before it all kind of like before we wrap up. But most of those the market's not gonna have most of that ready for me until tomorrow. All right, next game. Battle of the Sox. Red Sox. Red Sox are they've been really Jekyll and Hyde lately as well. Saw a couple of breaths of life in the bats a week ago. About a week ago. And then lately, not so much. So we'll see if they can get back right with Dick Fitz on the mound. They battle Nick Maton, Luis Robert Jr., Andrew Vaughn, Matt Tice, Miguel Vargas. Vargas led off yesterday, I believe. Slater, Sosa, Brooks, Baldwin, Jacob Amaya, Martin Perez on the bump for the Red Sox. I believe I went on a rant last stream. I was like, Martin Perez is not this strikeout guy, blah, 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 blah. And then I thought I was going to prove me wrong, but he only hit up with 4 strikeouts. So that's what we expected. Extreme regression in the strikeout department for Martin Perez. Not that he was like, I think he's a gas can, whatever. I just think he's a get through some innings ground baller is the best, is what you're expecting when you pick up Martin Perez. He went from a 12% swinging strike rate to a 4% game over game. The zone contact jumps 20%. The first pitch strike stays about the same. The xFIP jumps up to 4.72. The ground ball rate's not there right now. He's been fly balling it. So I'm back to targeting swings against that. Oh, and this average allowed is just nuts. The BABIP in these 2 games, 148, 222 against Detroit, 0 against Minnesota. Seems largely unsustainable. So enter Red Sox, even though they've been offensively anemic, and then guaranteed rate, not a massive offensive park. Let's take a little peek at your Red Sox scores last couple of days, tonight included. Boston scored 1 run. 4, 1, 1, 2. They dropped 18 on the Cardinals' head, but kind of anemic when it felt like they flipped a switch. But in baseball, we don't want to get too stuck on short stretches like that. These are the sensationalized results, but you also can't ignore it completely. Red Sox are minus 160 moneyline favorites, top of the interest ranking for this game. Not playing Dick Fitz. There's a ton of red in this White Sox lineup for sure. Fitz 11% swing and strike rate this season. I'm really trying to stretch. I need a minute. I can't believe I just said that. Oh, MLB.com. It's not fair, man. Did not find the page you're looking for. There we go. All right, I've composed myself. Man, there's like nothing to go off of here. I'll go back to a couple seasons back in the minor league level. 80 strikeouts to lefties in 67 innings, 83. So just under 1 per inning against righties. 10 homers in 84, 12 in 67. So struck out lefties but gave up homers. Chronic is such a troll. $1.25 on the whip to lefty. So I guess we'll super. I can't even say that. I'm gonna say hyper focus on lefty splits, but I only got 3 in the projected. One's a switchy. I just feel like if I give Fitz a more reasonable strikeout rating or projection or percentage, anyone against the White Sox with like a 20% K rate is going to come back over a K per inning because of the White Sox crazy K rate. Hey, what's going on with websites right now? Messing me up, man. Maybe it's just rich. Like on every website I've tried to pull up Richard Fitz, it just crashes. All right, we'll leave it alone. All right, I'm gonna give him an 18.5% K rate. I think we're gonna start realizing more strikeouts soon if he holds up to a double-digit swing and strike rate. And this matchup's gonna be lucrative. I'm gonna give him an 8% walk rate. Martin Perez, I'm gonna hold him to a 20 with a 7. All right, that's fair. Then I'm gonna start them both off with 15 outs, and we'll go back and do whatever. Did Edwin Diaz? Oh. Edwin Diaz walks Soderstrom. Wild pitches, so Athletics have 2nd and 3rd. They got 1 out. Tying run at the plate, but it is electric Eddie D. I would take extras and a bailout Lindor anything. That would be an incredible collapse by Edwin Diaz, though. So on 15 outs, it gives me 5.7 Ks on Fitz, and I have a feeling Fitz is out gonna be a little higher. Yeah, he went 6 innings the last 2 games. I'll put him at 17.5, and that's absolutely gonna spit me almost 7. Do we have K props for him already? 4.5 with money slamming the under, and I'm like 3 above on the projection, bro. I can't do it, dude. White Sox have been screwing me all year on these whenever I slam strikeouts against them. But I can, like, Toronto is not a strikeout heavy team. Maybe I'm just a Dick Fitz apologist. AAA last year, an 8.5 K per 9. 20 innings in the majors last year. That drops, and it's gonna drop. When you come from the minors to the majors, more than likely your numbers are just not gonna be the same 1-to-1. You gotta work with back up. Last year, Chicago, New York, Minnesota, Toronto, all games were 5.2 innings or less. Can I forgive Toronto? I mean, I'm really trying to paint a picture here where Fitz is a strikeout guy, but none of those games did he have double-digit swinging strikes. But he's at 10%, 11% so far this year. And he was 4 just feels too low against the White Sox, bro. Don't do it, Gun. Don't do it, Gun. Did I say 4? It did. 4.5. Put a little extra juice on the under right now. Yes, so someone talk me off this freaking ledge, dude. 35% whiff on the sweeper. 20% on the slider. 18% on the fastball. Great expected stats, dude. Well, not on the sweeper. All right, maybe not great at all, but I'm gonna lose money on Dick Fitz strikeouts tomorrow. I can just, it's happening. I mean, look how many of these strikeouts, man. It's like a 30% aggregate K rate team. And I've been trapped by this at least 3 times this season. I'm taking this problem. This is not a DFS rant. I don't feel like you need to get to him in DFS. Although I feel like you could. I mean, 3.4 run total for the White Sox. We have an outline for them since we have a K prop on. If we apply him for 6, 17.5 money on the over. So 6 strong, like he's done 2 games. In the mix, live for a quality start. And implied for less than 2.5 runs a lot. Dude, I'm playing some. I'm playing him. Put him in the blender. Don't try and stop me. I can't wait to just feel so stupid tomorrow. Not likely to play Martin Perez, but when you turn the Red Sox in up against lefties, it is so much different than up against righties. Look at this. Against righties, so much green, so many positive WRC pluses. The K rates are like whatever, but the OPS nuts, the ISO's nuts. You flip this around the lefties, and they forget. They forget. So Martin Perez may not be the craziest 7,100 investment for a Red Sox team with just two guys that scare you in terms of WRC plus against lefties. And we're talking Rob Refsnyder and Romy Gonzalez. Even Rafi Devers, like Devers is like that? Come on. Come on. Please tell me I just coded that wrong. This is your guy? 235. Let's go advanced. Go advanced last season. Yeah, 88 WRC plus last year against lefties. That's not what you want. But it's not insane for Martin Perez to twirl a good game here. Doing it. I'm very angry at this game. Bad pickup for the Mets. Dang, the Athletics played it too, huh? But I would have liked them to. Around 7-6 is your final. Yo, what's going on with Eddie D there? Unique. Struggling. Bangaliers. Yankee fans already crazy about the runs that can't score. Overreaction. Yankee good. Nobody in the AL can go. Nobody in the American League can go. Martin Perez, Cy Young. Who says no? Four. All right, let's keep it moving. Atlanta and Tampa. Dude, tomorrow's a freaking gauntlet of baseball, dude. And I got, oh, that's gonna be a tough day, dude. It's gonna be a long day. Long day. See if my mom could watch the dog or something. AJ Smith Shaver down there in Tampa, Steinbrenner Field. Didn't quite get the games we wanted out of Brandon Lau and Aranda yesterday. But don't you know that just means they're due? LOL, JK, smiley face. Drew Rasmussen on the bump for the Rays. Rays with a 4-run total. Rays 4.7. Rasmussen pretty good. His swing and strike rate pretty low so far. 10 innings of work. Well, we're pretty forgiving in small sample of established pitchers with bigger sample to start off a season. So let's go game log. Let's go plate discipline. 7 and 8%. We're talking Pittsburgh. We're talking Texas. First pitch strike in that first game, great. Not so much at Texas. So, seeing that type of decline, let's go pull up his Savant. See what's going on here. For Big League Drew. Where's your best lap on DK? I did not play DFS side tonight. I went crazy on the prop streets. But tomorrow, I don't know. The big slates I don't love for DFS. Tomorrow might be a fun little 3 playable slate gauntlet where each slate can kind of have some fun. Big slates are just crazy. But I can't pretend like I would have slated because I think most of the spots I was on, like I guess the Astros look good in the stack rating, but the Astros that got there were not the guys that I probably would have leaned on. Certainly when I had the Giants. Would have had the Mets. They're meh. Would have had Brewers. Meh. I don't think it would have been like a crazy night. Pitching, I did have Nick Pivetta at the tippy top. Yeah, Jung Ho Lee, little problem. National League's a tough road. Yeah, NL is definitely the better league. Which is why I was like, if Juan Soto wasn't coming back to the Yankees, get out of the league. Go to the NL. NL West can just cannibalize each other in the playoffs. DBACKS, Padres, Dodgers. Every now and then the Giants surprise you, but those teams play each other up. Go for it. The AL or the NL East, Phillies. You expect the Braves to get better. Spencer Strider, he's gonna be back soon. Maybe Acuna. The Phillies, Mets, Braves. Eat each other up. Tear each other up. There's gonna be a team that loses in the NL playoffs that would dominate the AL playoffs. That's the way the cookie crumbles. Looking at what we're doing, we're seeing why Drew Rasmussen's swing and strike rate is not like it was last year. So first and foremost, last year 31% whiff rate on the four-seamer. So far at 27% this season. Oh wait, I'm sorry. That was his cutter's his top used pitch so far this season. For a second, I thought he lost 7 miles an hour on his four-seamer. I was like, what? He did lose velocity though. Looks like 2 mile an hour less from his four-seamer last year to this year, which has gone from a 31% whiff rate to a 14%. So half, and it's, you know, still early. Half of that. And then his cutter, which is a pitch that was his number 3 last year, has been his number 1 this year. And last year was at 89.1. This year's at 90, so a little up on that. And last year it was at a 40% whiff. This year is half of that. But the expected woe, the expected slug, all that's really good. Just 2 games. I am a little bit concerned about this velo on the four-seamer. Sinker also down a little bit. And the sweeper, he's only thrown 9 times, and we haven't seen a curveball. Or excuse me, we didn't have a curveball last year. Now we've got one. Kinda. All right. Like the NBA Western Conference and Eastern Conference, yeah. I think the regional aspect of sports is a little outdated for regional television. And baseball is still the main league that's built on the back of regional television, or maybe regional television is built on the back of baseball. Because you're only getting a couple games a week on national TV. Otherwise, each team is on a local station with their own broadcasters and whatnot. So I guess I get it. Baseball's probably the sport that needs the current format the most. But basketball, no. Yeah, basketball to an extent too. I don't know. I guess football, definitely no. So we want to see Rasmussen's swing and strike rate stuff come back up, but it's, you know, it's not like it's been bad. Like a 0% barrel rate, great. The whip is great. And he's facing a Braves team, still kind of limping. No Acuna, no Profar. Plenty of strikeouts to be had. We did get that Ozuna bomb yesterday. Shout out to Marcel. Just how we drew it up. But I think in the grand scheme of this mid-slate, Rasmussen, very interesting click. I think we jot him down. Gotta be in the blender. How does he fail? Man, his numbers look so good. Small sample because he's got less than 50 innings each year. But he's just like, you can't get him out the yard. Ground ball rate to righties is so good. And that would hopefully neutralize the main bat right now in the Braves, which is Ozuna. So that'll help him out. On that slate, you're not going to need 30 fantasy points out of your pitcher, more than likely. Who's got a better shot at 20 and a dub? Decent implication at a win here. And strikeouts in this projected. So Rasmussen certainly top of the interest rankings. And then at 4.7 run total, you got to put the Rays in the blender. Looking at AJ Smith-Shawver, how does he fail? He gives up power to lefties. Kind of missed here in the middle. Oh, let's see, AJ Smith-Shawver. Did he pitch at all last year, or was he just hurt? Like he pitched. Yeah, he did. Against lefties last year, 47 innings, 29 walks, not what you want. 9 homers, that's a little high. But the average low, 1.32 whip. So lefties, not a great hit for average. Great strikeout numbers, 58 strikeouts in 47 innings, but the walks are more than what you would want, and the homers certainly elevated. Remember, we like to see about 1 per 10 innings. Really 1 per 9, but 45.2 against righties, 12 homers, so homers allowed still. 13 walks, much better than the 29 to lefties, with 54 Ks in the 45 innings. So it was a good strikeout pitcher, but lefties gave him fits, and we have seen Kevin Cash be super petty with these lineups to attack weaknesses. So you'll probably see as many lefties as you possibly can, and it probably looks something like this, where like yesterday we get Lau and Aranda. If I'm Kevin Cash, I probably lead off a lefty. So you might get something funky like I don't think you would lead off Brandon Lau, but you might. So we get into that. And then Braves, I got nothing here. I use Substack talent, sure, on a small slate in a positive park. You get in that bullpen, all bets are off, right? But pre-flop, I'm going Rasmussen and Rays. And then the Braves fall where they fall. What up, Mike? Just want a $4 on DK, even though I don't use your data. I want to give you some credit. I was listening to you in the shower this morning. Let's go, Mike. What was the $4? Is that a 20 max? And no, I don't get credit for nothing. You made the decisions. You put your own money behind it. Was it the 4-seamer 20 max? Oh, I see you, Mike. Mike. Let's look at you. Let's look at your lineup. Let's analyze it. All right, Big Mike coming in hot with Yamamoto at 12% ownership. Nick Pivetta at almost 50% ownership, combining for 70 fantasy points. Throws together that crazy Houston bottom of the order stack. I mean, it's just insane. You get the 6 hitter, the 7, the 8. So it's a 4-3 Houston, Washington. And you get a Josh Bell bomb, Luis Garcia bomb. You get the leadoff CJ Abrams, who got hurt. You got a fat 0 from Shohei, and still took it down by 6 points, bro. Good stuff. There's some good players right below you. Calicor, doesn't he do the projections for the casting? Or is that somebody else? Nice, dude. Nice. 3K, not bad. Good stuff, dude. Congrats. Tampa keeps it Yankee Jr. Yeah, Cash is usually annoying about defensive subs and platoon subs, but he's also pretty annoying about spraying an entire lineup of platoon against starters. That lineup you threw against, was it Kikuchi the other day? All righties. Like you a hoe. Otani has me sweating bullets with a 0. Dude. That's baseball, Susan. You want a microcosm on baseball? Otani, arguably the best player on the planet, just put up a 0 and still won a tournament. Baseball is weird, man, but it's great at the same time. But that dude, that Houston lineup was sick. Did you run a simulator? I assume. Because I mean, that Astros bottom of the lineup going off like that, I was just thinking, there's just no way I would ever hand make that lineup. But on a 20 max, dude, that's more impressive to get to those players on a 20 max than 150. You're goated for that. Did we pull out the projections here? We didn't. Let's go Shawver. Let's go Shawver at a 22% K rate with a. He walks lefties a lot, man, like a lot. I'm gonna go 10%, 22 and 10. And then for Rasmussen, we're gonna bring up that. I'll put it at 24. I'll keep it at 24. And then the walk rate's pretty pristine. We'll go. I'll put 6, but 5 is probably closer to the right answer. And then I don't know if we got outs for that game. We got 14.5 for Shawver, nothing. So he's at 15 on the over. So we're gonna put 15 here on Shawver. And then Rasmussen. $70 and 79 pitches. Is he not getting more? I'm gonna put him at 16. I don't know if there's some bubble wrap around him right now. All right, matriculate on to the next game. Nationals. And Nick Pivetta, dude, he was obviously at the top of every projection model, mine included. But it was like I was never warm and fuzzy on clicking his name. But then after I processed the whole slate, I was like, yeah, he's the top option. But half the field, was like, yeah, no, he's the top option, which is so crazy because he's been a journey. But that says a lot about the freaking Rockies, man. All else fails. Pick on the Rockies. Trevor Williams pitching for the Nationals. Gonna have to bring his best stuff as the Marlins are throwing Sandy Alcantara. Future Yankee. Speak it into existence. Next year when we have Sandy, when we have Kyle Tucker. I do want Sandy though. I would have loved Tucker, but there's rumors that he's liking Chicago and might sign an extension. So whatever, dude. You know, stay in the National League if you want to. Don't matter. But Sandy, you gotta get him out of there. Even if it's not to New York, but it should be to New York. Right off the rip, we're gonna bring Sandy in to the top of the interest rankings. Nationals, by the way, 3.6 run total. Marlins 4.1 and are minus 142. Sandy's looking good. I'm happy to see this version of Sandy in small sample size, because sometimes when players look so good and then they get injured and come back, you start worrying. But Sandy's a problem. 8% swinging strike rate against the Mets, 17% against the Pirates, 50% first pitch strike. If we had to pick a problem here, it's this. You coin flipping whether or not you're starting 0-1 or 1-0. That's not what you want. And then the swing percentage less than 50%. So if you let's see some more games play out. Mets, not gonna fault them too much on the Mets there, but you gotta throw more strikes early and often. Yeah, was that a problem for him 3 years ago, 2 years ago? He had a 65% first pitch strike in 23, 62. So 62 65 is more normal for him. So we got to see that come up a little bit, but he's been really good. Less than a 3x FIP in both games. Ground ball rate over 70%. It's just what you want. This Nationals team, we saw James Wood get into one yesterday. 3 guys in the top are 4 projected with an elevated walk rate. Was it Nate Lowe that got late scratched yesterday? I don't know what that was about. But keep an eye on that. Josh Bell got into one. Against Sandy, he's going to keep that ball on the ground. So can't really project for much power. Although, maybe. I don't know. Over a 1 homer per 9. Against lefties, over a 2 against lefties so far. Who's freak homered off of Sandy? I believe it was like Soto or something. He gave up 1 homer against the Mets. Was it Brandon Nimmo? I guess. We'll take that. Stack wise, man, neither team's going to be exciting. Trevor Williams is not a exciting pitcher to roster, but he is one of those eat some innings, and you might eat more innings than we expect against a lowly team like the Marlins. The D-backs in Toronto, 2 not bad teams to have to hold the fort up against. Somehow hangs on to just 3 earnings against 10 hits in Toronto. Same with 5 hits and 2 walks against Arizona. I don't think I can get behind playing them. But at less than 7K on DraftKings, you put them in that SP2, you get maybe a home run swing amount of points against a strikeout prone lineup in a pitcher's park. I don't think that's the craziest look. He's just not somebody I truly expect to be able to erase any mistakes. So let's go pitcher projections here. For Trevor, we're going to stick him right at 20% on the K rate. And then the walk rate, I'll put him at 7. It might be a little tough. I'll put him at 6.5. And for Sandy, the K rate, I don't think Sandy's going to be close to a 30% K rate guy. I think the best form of Sandy is like a 23-24% K rate. Like it's the best. And you just realize you're trying to get 7-8 innings out of this heavy ground ball guy that could strike you out. So like a right-handed Framber Valdez on a, you know what I mean? Like a type like that. So I'm not going to put 28% K rate. If he holds it up, cool. But I'm going to put 24. And then walk rate, I'm going to tax him for 6.5 as well. The same 6.5. What's our outs here? So we're going to give Sandy 18 and we're going to give Trevor 15. And that's all I got to say about that. Use data from Sims, input it into Optimizer, then get kind of eyeball the lineups I like. Only play 20 lineups a day. Yeah, no, I like that. That's why I like the smaller slates, kind of. But yeah, some way how content like yours influences. I appreciate that, Mike. It's all you, but yeah, it's good to consume content from the nerds. Tucker's been yamming in Chicago so far, to be fair. No, Tucker's really good. Tucker, dude, last year everybody was like all over Soto. Soto was great. Don't get me wrong. Listen, man, Tucker's pretty good too. Probably better defensively. I mean, you're not losing a whole lot there. But yeah, Lau scratched and Abrams left the game, I believe. Or Lowe was scratched, yeah. I don't even know what score won the big tournament on DK tonight. I can find that out for you, Mr. Mike. Actually, I'll show you guys how you can do it if you're on desktop. You can look at any contest you want. You just click, and you go view live contest. So you're looking for what score won the big tournament. I'm guessing you mean either the 8 or the 15. So the big tournament was a 213 and a 195 won 100K. You know, if you were really spending some money. What was your score? Would you be sick if you looked up and you could have won 50K? 213? Wait, 213.05. Dang, he would have edged you by one off of Lindor over Soto. Matter of fact, I think that's almost your lineup, but not. You actually probably would have came in third. But you would have won 100K, so sleep well tonight. I'm just kidding. You can't play like that. You just take what you got. We were preaching about Trevor Williams, yeah? Oh, we did the projection. If Trevor Williams fails, what do we want from this game? Anything? Just maybe a Jonah Bride. Pretty cheap. You're looking for a swing. Xavier Edwards. So far, Trevor's kind of struggled at keeping lefties in the park, but that wasn't a thing in bigger sample size the year before. It was a thing in bigger sample size the year before. But it's just, you know, like spinning the wheel on suck. What are you gonna do? Just give me Sandy. Move on. All right, so that is that's it for that slate, yeah? It is. All right, so let's get this afternoon pitcher projections going. It's easier if I just do it this way now. And we gotta get the early pitchers out, which is Job, Haddock, Sanchez, Michaelis, Jordan Hicks, and Will Warren. Get those guys out of the mix, and that'll give us a clean sheet. And that's giving us Richard Fitz. God dang it, man. Wait, this isn't right at all. Something's wrong. I bet I have quality start info still in there from yesterday. I do not. What? What did I type wrong? There's just no way that Trevor Williams comes in that high. There's just no way. Oh, I reversed the outs. Jesus. Okay. That should make it look better. A little bit. No, what? Trevor Williams. 90 has to be up top. What am I doing? Oh no, I didn't reverse the outs. 8, 15, 18. We'll give Sandy a quality starts donation too. Dude, could you stop Force feeding me Richard Fitz at the top. Oh my god, dude. This 28% aggregate K rate from the White Sox is really a problem, and the 28% for Trevor Williams is doing things too. I just gotta trust the numbers here. I'm giving Sandy the full quality start. He's just got to be at the top. That'll do that. All right, that looks a little bit more like it, dude. Richard Fitz, man. I hope he proves me to be a genius tomorrow. Let's get the noon stack rating done. I did manually boost Fitz's strikeout rate, just kind of going off of his minor league pedigree. Like, I feel like there's more in him. Maybe I shouldn't have done that, but yeah. Stack rating for the afternoon slate: Mets #1, Rays 2, Athletics 3, Baltimore 4, and then it really drops to under 5 real quick. So that's your afternoon slate. We're chugging right along. Abrams re-aggravated hip flexor will be validated tomorrow. Oh, that sounds like a day off. That's why we don't have him in the projected. It could be good news for James Wood to get an extra swing, but certainly dampens the lineup even more. Yeah, Mike, you win what you were going after. I remember my good buddy Young C was a consumer of the basketball content many moons ago. We might be talking 8-9 years, and he sent me a link to I think it was like a $10 single entry, and he smoked it. I mean, he absolutely demolished it. And I was max entering the big one, and I was like, dude, this single entry would have won every contest on the website. And just that buyer's remorse of only playing this single entry and putting up that type of score, just, it stung a lot. Like, it stung me for him, you know? But you can't play like that. It's what it is. But that's a great boost for your bankroll. If you stay where you're at, just like stay in your lane, I mean, this is gonna be hard not to have a positive ROI on the season. If you use it to maybe push forward a little bit in stakes, that's cool. But me personally, I like, I don't know, the 20 entry maxes are fun, right? Like, I don't know. It just feels like you take a lot of the human element of the game of DFS, which is all but dead now, but like the computers, bro, that taking over, like the lineups that the homies are, you're just putting projections, you're clicking buttons, boom, upload. It's like, man, you're not really playing the game, but like, I get it, I do it too. So those are just who sims better. But to win those single entries where it's like your input, your research, those 20 entry maxes, stuff like that, that feels a little bit more fun for the validation side. But we out here to make money, so whatever. Why don't I have DraftKings prices on this game? Why? Why did I skip a game? All right, let's just fix this before we get too far. The DraftKings main slate starts at 540. I guess I didn't do the CSV like it. Let's do that right now. So we can display DraftKings pricing. And then we got to back it up an hour to get into this Pittsburgh-Cincy game. Let's go to DFS pricing. There's really three slates, so a little triathlon marathon. All right, that should fix the problem, and we can delete all this other junk. Max more personal. It definitely is. I think we're on the same wavelength there. It's like you're more responsible for the decision. Like you looked at that, like even if you didn't put Astros home 6, 7, 8 hitters in your lineup, whatever. You like that's 20 lineups that you more likely looking at each lineup like, all right, cool. And then you personally have put them into the simulator. Whereas no one is actually looking at 150 of their lineups to personally validate each one. That's all I'm saying. There's absolutely nothing wrong with automating the process. And without all the geniuses that run 150, those price pools would all but dry up. So it's a necessary evil, but from a victory standpoint, a little bit more fun to win the limited entry. Just because you are pretty hands-on, pretty responsible. But your lineup would have went blow for blow with the top of all these other contests. So maybe as you move forward in stakes, maybe you don't have to match the MME, but if your bankroll starts allowing it, those 20 you're putting into 4, the 3, put the same 20 in the other ones. Just in case. Or maybe put that same 20 in like the mini max or something, you know, just to do that. Reds, Jesus, what am I doing? Reds taking on the Pirates. Two southpaws going at it. Andrew Heaney, the Heen Dog, former Yankee great, coming off an incredible outing against the aforementioned Yankees, in which he looked great. Let's open up this one. My 20 versus your 20, exactly. 10 Ks against the Yankees, 2 against Miami. He was just on one. I'm on one. Gonna go ahead and lean that it was a little bit on the fake side, but we'll do our due diligence. 15% swing and strike rate. Yeah, right. You couldn't do that for us. 66% first pitch strike. Yeah, okay. Andrew Heaney, we likely get. History tells us is a fly ball lefty. That's good, not great. Maybe good minus. But being a fly ball pitcher in Great American Ballpark could make for a rough day sometimes. Yeah, none of these pitchers are just especially whiffy too. Expected slug on his four seamer is almost 400. Whatever. And then this will be a fun stat. Last year, 23 homers allowed. He played all his games in Great American to be at 27. The year prior be at 28. Yeah, everything's close to close. The Yankee Stadium was a fun year. So obviously he would give up some more in the small park. And maybe PNC holds him in the park a little bit more than Cincy will. With that said, Cincinnati is just not that good. Pirates run total is sitting at 4.1. Reds run total sitting at 4.6. If you look at runs scored in the league, the Reds have got to be. I mean, they had like a couple blowout games. I feel like they're right around league average in total runs scored. The White Sox 35, Atlanta 38, Houston, your tournament winners tonight. Tampa, jeez. Cubbies won, Yankees somehow too. It just feels like they've been stuck in the mud. Andrew Abbott pitching for the Reds. Hey, I bet 138 innings from him last year in the major league level. A lot of homers allowed to righties, not so much to lefties. You'll see a lot of righties and positive platoons in this Pirates lineup. Elevated walk rate. So I don't really see a reason to expect any of that has changed. But we'll go look. We've got about 10 innings in the minors this season. Lefties is so small, less than 3 innings against lefties. 1 walk, 250 average. A 2 ground out to error ratio. Against righties, 1 bomb, 276 average allowed, 7 Ks. Less than a K per inning so far. 4 walks against righties in 7 innings. So ton of small sample. That's just really not going to be fantastic. I think I would understand if you wanted to take some shots at Heaney as a big league pitcher against an anemic offense that just sucks. I don't know. Maybe it's personal with me, but I think I'm going Reds here. And then I think we just stack in the ballpark here. I'm not gonna put Heaney here, but like I get it. You know what I mean? This Reds offense has 1 player with a positive WRC plus. The 2 that we don't have, Wins and Blake Dunn. Usually this means I just don't have enough sample size and I just put a league average number. So like this is not a good team, especially in the split. So I get it if you want to take a shot on Heaney. I think I'm not as of now, but it's like pick a side, right? Let's go get that pitching projection in. So for Heaney's K rate, I'm gonna stick him at 23. I'll give him that 23 from last year. Walk rate. We'll put him at 6. 23 and 6. Like I think I'm being too harsh on Heaney. But Abbott, I'll give him a 20% walk rate. Or excuse me, Jesus, a 20% K rate. And 8.5% walk rate. We'll see what the outs are telling us, if anything. 17.5 juice on the over. So I think money's starting to push what I'm saying. The Reds suck. Abbott's juice on the over 14.5. So we're gonna give him 15, which is 5 innings. 18 for Heaney. 18 and man, that's gonna give Heaney a good projection. But we gotta go with the numbers here. That gives Heaney 6.5 Ks. And then I'm gonna give him 2 points towards that QS. What up, Keith? Any picks for tomorrow? We're researching right now. Market's not available for most of it. But yeah. What up, Jim? Jimmy Rollins, Philadelphia legend. Stacking the ballpark. I'm gonna go ahead and put Heaney in there now. I just gotta, like, I guess take the personal out of it. If Heaney's getting 18 outs right now by the market, we give him 18 outs with this run total, it's gonna tax him for 3 runs, which is right about the quality start. It's gonna make him a stronger Fanduel play. And the K's better than I want him to be. I just gotta let the numbers do the numbers, right? Let's move on. Okay, now we continue the DraftKings main slate, but now we start the FanDuel main slate. What a weird day for everything. So we'll go Angels, which again, Angels looking strong, man. Michael Nelson, looking like Michael Nelson, and that's good for baseball. Except tonight, like we've seen in Michael Nelson's career, he's not a pitcher. And you can only do so much. We're turning the Astros around, facing a southpaw in Tyler. The Andersons got tickets to the game. How'd they get tickets? Tanner Diaz, part of the action last night. Cam Smith, part of the action last night. Brian Gusto on the bump. Angels rocking a 4.2 run total. Astros 5. Gusto. What are we working with, mister? Oh, this is not good. As far as projections. Is this a full-on bullpen game? Gusto slated to start Saturday's game against the Angels in Houston. Filling the rotation spot that belonged to Spencer Arrighetti, out with a thumb, who was placed on the IL. Gusto carried a 3.7 ERA, 1.26 WHIP. The WHIP's not impressive. Over 148.1 innings and a 2024 full-time starter at AAA. So he has been a starter before. But so far this season, he's never thrown more than 42 pitches. And made an appearance 3-4 days ago. So I would probably expect 50 pitches to be his max. So it seems like no matter what we do here, Gusto's probably not in play for DFS. So I'm gonna give him 3.2. What do we do? 11 outs? That's probably, let's go 12, go 13. 13 outs. Gives me 4 innings. Maybe 12.5. Oh, that's for Anderson anyway. I'm a dopey. And then as far as K rate, 30% is likely not real. Most of the time bullpen arms have a really jacked up K rate because they can come out, throw it all, and they're also being put in the spot that makes the most sense for them. But let's go check out his minor league stuff. Let's see if we can quantify a strikeout rate. 62.1 innings pitched last year against lefties, 64 Ks, over a K per inning, 84.2 against righties, 77, so actually less than a K per inning against righties. And in 8 innings of work this season, you can see if that might have been a product of I guess you wouldn't specifically bring him out for lefties, but they have 3.1 innings. But no, he's been striking out righties more. Only 2 strikeouts against lefties. 3. All right. Homers. 6 bombs, 62 innings. 8 bombs, 84 innings. So about average. 1 per 10. The whip to lefties increased by 28 walks in 62 innings. And then we dip into the Houston bullpen, which we have that chart ready. We don't. We can look at the game was kind of lopsided yesterday, so it's probably a lot of mop up. After Blanco, they threw Van Way, Taylor Scott, and Luis Contreras. Contreras, that'll put 2 days in a row for him, so he's probably not going to pitch. We've seen him go from AAA to not, so he might even get optioned down for a trade out since it is a bullpen game. We'll put the Angels. We'll put both. We'll go Astros and Angels. I'm not gonna jump off the Angels ship after how good their bats have looked in the last week, and we knew Blanco's not too bad. So with Tyler Anderson, so far this season, very much so on the lucky side. Yeah, 5.81 xFIP to righties with 0 homers, a 125 average, a 67% fly ball rate, a 39% hard contact rate, and a 16% walk rate. Yeah, we can dig into last year, the year before, pretty quickly with numbers like that. Jose Altuve, Isaac Paredes, Yordan Alvarez, Christian Walker, throw them all in the blender. As we learned yesterday, bottom of the lineup needs some love too. This is a lineup projecting much better against lefties than righties, and that's what they got on the board today. Tyler Anderson, we got him. Anything? No, we don't have outs here. So for Tyler Anderson, just to put in a quick manual projection, we got 81 and 91 pitches last 2 games. He did go 5, but 1 hit against Cleveland. I have to see what kind of nonsense happened in the numbers. A 629 xFIP, a 0 BABIP. It's a 73% fly ball rate. So just flyouts after flyouts after flyouts for Tyler Anderson against Cleveland. With an 18.5% barrel rate. I mean, this dude has a horseshoe scraping you know what. 22.2% pull, air percentage, whatever. Let's go look at something fun. He actually would give up less homers so far in minute made than he has, but I don't know, man. Those Crawford boxes are looking really nice. For Altuve, Paredes, maybe Christian Walker. We're not pitching either pitcher, so we don't have to spend too much more time here. I'm just looking at how lucky Tyler Anderson's been. What up, Pojin? It was good in the movie Against All Odds. I like James Woods in the movie El Salvador and Any Given Sunday and The Cop. It was good. He also had a high school named after him. That's a Family Guy reference. We did that. Moving it to Chase Field. Man, there is just baseball all day, literally. Little revenge action here. So yesterday we looked up the roof in Chase Field. It was projected to stay closed the whole series. Keep that in mind. That doesn't really change a ton, but it is something to know. The open air, the hot air in Phoenix, more hitter friendly. Last night we saw E-Rod struggle. Tonight, Corbin Burns looking to get back right. And we get the D-backs against a righty, which means Corbin Carroll. Did I mention I miss Ketel Marte? Also, man, Eugenio Suarez. What a hot start for him, and then just like fizzled out. But I guess that's kind of how he plays, right? He's like a modern Justin Upton. He goes streaking, and then he doesn't. Brewers have a 3.8 run total, much lower than yesterday's. D-backs at 5, kind of flipping everything. Brewers against Corbin Burns. Hey, old pal. Corbin so far this season a 23% K rate. The swing and strike rate is linear to his last 2 years. We like that. Barrel rate's a little elevated. Don't love that. And the whip is up, but probably because he has a 400 average allowed to righties. Let's see if we can't justify that coming down a little bit. Clearly his BABIP is going to be a little out of control. Washington did that? You crazy, man. A 412 BABIP in that Washington game? Yikes. And a little bit of a walk problem this year, which is mostly uncharacteristic. Although, what did I just see? Oh yeah, that's overall. So the walks have been to lefties so far, but that's not been a problem for him. So I don't want to exacerbate. I guess it was a problem 2 years ago. So Christian Yelich might be the patient guy to keep an eye on. There's a couple lefties here. I don't know. I want to believe and buy into Corbin, but it's not a give me matchup, I don't think. So let's rank this out. So D-backs 1. Let's go Corbin Burns 2. I'm not against grabbing a couple Brewers here. A couple Brewskis with the Boyskis. Because Corbin does give up some power. But it's namely the righties. And William Contreras, man, at the plate. I know he's got 2 bombs. I think they both came in cores. But he was swinging at some jizzy junk yesterday. And it made me make a mental note because I had him for a homer. Which he did not. Maybe you want to go look at his batted ball data via Savant. Jesus, hey, it's a 10% pull air rate. You're not gonna hit homers like that, young blood. Got a 67% ground ball rate, right? And the reason I'm looking this up is because when we're looking at Corbin Burns' leaks, power to righties. One of these righties is putting the ball right on the ground. Jackson Churio is a problem. He might be somebody to look out for. And then Rhys Hoskins, who strikes out at a pretty high clip. So the big threats there. But he has a lot of power to lefties so far this season, and Christian Yelich does exist. He also has a little bit of a walk problem. So we're gonna go Brewers 2. And if you're the D-backs, you're hoping Corbin Burns goes a little bit deep. But to Erod's credit, he went 6.1, and then they went Ryan Thompson and Joe Mantiply. So they should be pretty rested to go. So let's do, oh, Chad Patrick. We don't play people with 2 first names. We just don't. No, yeah, I don't think I'm getting there on Chad Patrick. Looking at his career arc. AAA last year, a 257 walk per 9, 9.5 K per 9. It's not the worst, right? 26%, 14% swinging strike rate. It's fine. Not terrible, not elite, right? Like, look, you build off of most of that. Sub 3 ERA. We can isolate those splits though. And refresh our memory. 26-year-old youngster. To be young again. Split it up. It's lefty, 71 innings, 220 average, 68 Ks, 21 walks. Does that say 13 homers? Holy. 13 homers against lefties in 71 innings. That's a little elevated. Definitely much better against righties overall. 77 Ks in 63 innings against righties. Just 3 homers. Fly balling it. So in his pedigree, there's a problem with lefties. And that's likely gonna, it might not show up in the bomb detector because we don't have big league sample. But looking at that, that looks like Pavin Smith City right there. And we'll cross-reference Pavin Smith this season, but last year, and going back to the beginning of last year, the box score metrics, right? The average, the ISO 283, 980 OPS, the walk rate's pretty crazy. Was really good. So this season, he is top 7% in exit velo. What was great. Hard hit rate, top 4%. We go to this pull air stat. It's not fantastic. You'd want that to come up. But looking at this dude's issue, certainly feels like a good spot for him. And we have seen him bat around the top 3 to clean up spot in the absence of Ketel Marte against righty. So keep an eye out for that. Nice little handcuff to like a Corbin Carroll, who even if he draws a walk, he's a problem. So D-backs looking pretty good. Chad Patrick, what do we put for outs for him? The 5, he got up to 5 at 80 pitches. Hasn't gone over 86. The board doesn't have a number on him. They are giving Corbin Burns 18. So we'll go 15.5 for Patrick. We'll go 18 on Corbin. For Patrick, we'll go 23% K rate with a 12% walk rate. 23, 12. And then Gusto, or excuse me, Anderson and Gusto. We didn't finish that one, did we? It's not much. Let's go placeholders. Just because we're not going to pitch either one of them. So Anderson while we're here, we'll go 20% and 20 and 10. Just run of the mill stuff. And then Gusto doesn't matter. We'll go 24 and 8. But for Corbin Burns, his strikeout number we'll stick at 23. I think there's room for more. 23 and 9 to charge him a little bit for his struggles against lefties. We'll give him that quality start. We'll give him 3 points towards a quality start. We'll go from there. You don't know what slate to play, you like to focus on one. I guess whatever works with your schedule the best. The main slate's going to keep you up later with the Dodgers and Mariners, especially the Mariners don't start till 9:40 Eastern. So you can run that gauntlet. You ain't scared. Let's move on. We got 3 games left. You guys are watching on YouTube. You're making it through. I mean, I feel like we're doing some good work here. So, hit that thumbs up as a thank you. You know what we do here? We are working with the spreadsheet, man and machine. You guys know that every day you ain't got 2 hours, 3 hours to listen to me ramble to myself, but you can appreciate the spreadsheet work and trust the work that's being done. You can gain access to the spreadsheet and let it help you expedite your research process every day. Quick referencing stats I believe matter. And gain access to it with a subscription at MLBgrind.com. Not only do you get access to the spreadsheet, and it's still growing. Like I'm always thinking of what tabs to add and what kind of, how to build it out. I do think in my head I want to add a little bit more to the stack rating to create some more differentiation words. I don't know what I'm going with there. So what you see isn't what you're going to get forever. And people that subscribed in week 1, I've already seen it build out where we added projections and stat lines for pitchers, stuff like that. But it's a good way to support the stream, support the site. You also get into the premium Discord, which there's a lot of silent assassins in that Discord, man. I mean, they're tilting to myself on some of these bad beats. So if you jump into Discord, feel free to be active. We used to do pretty often voice chats. We haven't really been doing that lately, but some of these slates would be fun to grind in a voice chat. or screen share a little watch party of the game, something like that. Rockies taking on the Padres. Chase Dollander taking on Kyle Hart. So Chase Dollander, somebody I've been seeing a lot in the video game world, MLB The Show, because he's a prospect of the Rockies. Let's go get some information. What's up, Oreo? Dollander, 2.58 ERA in 122 innings, 1.2 WHIP, 174 strikeouts. I mean, that's what you want, really. Last year, 169 strikeouts, 118 innings. And this is all PCL stuff, so we might see some elevation in ERA and homers. 7 homers and 118 innings last year. So, years and years of suck gives you draft capital. And right now, Dollander is one of the only things the Padres or the Rockies have. Fastball, curveball, changeup. And let's go look at game log, see what kind of innings we might expect out of him. He went 5 innings. His last start against the Athletics, and that did not go great, did it? First game jitters, Coors Field. 7-7 ground ball to fly ball ratio. The strikeouts were there, but Athletics can strike out. San Diego, a little bit harder to strike out. Only 1 hitter in the projected, but over 20% K rate against righties since the beginning of last year. So he's gonna be able to test his stuff, that's for sure. Don't think I'm gonna talk myself into playing Dollander. But he is somebody we got to keep an eye on, and might be somebody that quickly turns into a pitcher we want to play on the road at the right price. 829 expected slug on his 4-seamer, 521 on the cutter, neither of which is great or good or even okay. But that fastball sits at 98. That's pretty good. And Padres have a decent enough run total that we got to put him in the interest ranking. Don't think I'm gonna talk myself into Dollander here. I don't even know what I'm rooting for with Dollander. Do I root for mediocrity and hope we get him at a good price in some upcoming matchup? Because there's not like a lot of established pitchers or guys I wouldn't necessarily pitch against the Padres because they don't provide a ton of upside in terms of strikeouts. Maybe that's what I do. I mean, maybe we have fun if we get a strikeout prop that's low enough. I don't know if they're giving us anything on Dollander. 3.5 strikeouts. I mean, they're jamming the over right now. So with that type of pitch mix and velocity, yeah, he's gonna fall into some strikeouts if that 79 pitches goes to 85 and he can get through 5 for sure. I do think that K prop's too low, but we see some stuff like that. Although they're jamming the under on his out, so they're gonna put him at 15. So I'm gonna have to follow that, put him at 15 outs. Kyle Hart, by the way, got nothing on him there. Go to bed stressed out. De-stress. Woosah. Kyle Hart, 5 innings and 0.2. Did not last long against Chicago. But man, is Colorado the team to get right against. Guardians against the lefties, kind of a rougher matchup. Can we talk ourselves into forgiving some of these not great Kyle Hart stats? So we'll give him 15 off the rip as far as outs. I think we would see that go up to like, I'm gonna give him 15.5, maybe 16. We're literally talking half a decimal. So with Dollander, I'm gonna give him a 22% K rate. I think he could be a 104K guy. Do I put 10% on the walk rate? No, I don't. Put 7% for now. And Kyle Hart, what are we doing with Kyle Hart's numbers for projection purposes? So Kyle Hart, MILB, what we're dealing with. Let's go look at last year's overalls, or actually 2023. Where was he last year? Was he in like KBO or Japan or something? Or was he just hurt? I feel like you're hurt and come instantly back. Yeah, he was in KBO. Naturally, an average pitcher in America is Kershaw over there. 30% K rate in the KBO, 6% walk rate. And then prior to that, for Philly, AAA level, 33% K rate. Wait, that's in one inning. That's wrong. So in American minor league levels, we've seen Kyle Hart sit more like a 23 to 24% K rate. Maybe 22 is even more fair. But as we saw and have seen, a 22% K rate, that dog will hunt against the Colorado Rockies. And this Rockies lineup, so very bad. Brenton Doyle, Kyle Farmer, the two bats with a sub 28% K rate. I guess Zach Veen, but he hasn't really been around long enough. Are we gonna get a can't look away strikeout prop on Kyle Hart? Is Kyle Hart just did we just pitch anyone against the Rockies? 3.5 money slamming you. I think both pitchers strikeout props kind of disrespectful. You're not getting a good deal now, and even at 4.5 we might be in business. So what do I do with his K percentage? So I think a fair projection for strikeouts for Kyle Hart. I mean, he just got smacked by Chicago, whatever. They scored the second most runs in the league. It is what it is. This is the Rockies. I guess Kyle Hart spring for our tiebreaker here. Basically, I'm trying to come up with a number for his K rate. I'm thinking 22% is a fair number with wiggle room. 7.2 spring, 7 Ks, 3 homers. That's not what you want. I'm gonna give him a 22% K rate and a 10% walk rate. And on a 15.5 out projection, it gives me 6 strikeouts against the Rockies. And right now the line is at 3.5, 4.5, 3.5. I mean, what? So what if strikeouts thrown on DK's? What if we took 6? You get it at plus 250 on 6. Okay. And what kind of pitches are we throwing? Any games on that phone? So all these pitches that he's getting tore up on so far, like the changeup has a 1 dot slug, thrown it 26 times, and a 666 batting average. Well, the expected numbers from the pitch: 243 for the batting average, a 313 expected slug on the changeup, and he's already there on the whiffs at 46%. And I guess the sinker, which he hasn't thrown a lot, that's a problem pitch right now. Same with the four-seamer. You want those to, but we're talking, you know, less than 50 combined. We look at last year, it's even worse. I don't know, man. I'm trying to, or we look at 2020, it's even worse, but we don't want to lean on stats from 5 years ago. Oh my God, I'm talking myself into some Kyle Hart. Kyle Hart is 6,400 on DraftKings. I mean, that's just, you're not, right? Like, I think if you're in a spot and there's a 6K pitcher against a strikeout team, if you're not playing that strikeout team and nobody wants to stack the Rockies, you have to take at least a vested look at Kyle Hart. So I'm going Padres and Hart on the interest ranking. And that's all I got to say about that. And I'll probably take some early strong shares and I don't know, K props, whatever's available. 2 games left. Going to Dodger Stadium. The Cubs and Ben Brown take on Roki Sasaki. So if Otani goes 0 for everything yesterday, I mean, he's so due tonight, right? You believe in the slot machine strategy. Ben Brown towing the slab for the Cubs. He's been aight. Saw Freddie Freeman come back. Good to see him. He batted behind Teoscar yesterday. Probably flips that today against a righty. Saw Tommy Edman a little bit higher in the order. Probably flips that against a righty versus a lefty, yeah. And then bottom of the lineup likely looks the same. Cubbies come in with a 3.8 run total. The Dodgers 5 runs. I'll probably say right off the rip, I think Roki Sasaki, we just keep playing him. I think he's gonna have more growing pains than some, because they didn't really give him a warm-up. They didn't give him a minor league campaign, nothing like that. I guess he's still being bubble wrapped. Got the 4 innings against Philly. We've seen him be emotional when he's in trouble, and we've seen the walks be a problem. I'll tell you what, I'm gonna take him out. I think the plan with Roki is long term, and it might be a while before they unleash him. And this is a good Cubs team that walks a lot, so I'm not gonna do it. But we will instantly put Dodgers in the interest ranking. And I mean, there's a Cubs substack to be had, right? If we're trepidatious on Roki, Kyle Tucker, Suzuki would be the 2 main guys. But if Roki starts getting wild and starts walking people, you walk a guy like Pete Crow Armstrong, that sounds crazy, but he's got some speed. There's a couple guys that might be worth being a little different with. Ben Brown, it's just hard to get behind pitching against the Dodgers and a 5 run total here. I don't think he's necessarily bad, but the expected ERA being 5.5, you can really neutralize this 1 in 4 K rate for the most part. I guess not as much as I would think, but I just don't think we're getting to Ben Brown. So let's spit out some projections here. But Roki, I'd probably go with maybe 12.5 as his out projection. Let's see if there's a line here for that game. There's not. I'm gonna give him 12.5 because I don't know if the expectation is to get more than 4. And then for Ben Brown, I think he might try and go 15. 4, 5, 2.2. Hasn't gone over 80 pitches, but he just got smacked up by San Diego, so I don't think that was a limitation thing. 4 walks, man. He's walking people too. I'm gonna go 14.5 for his out projection. And then for Ben, I'm gonna go 24 on his K rate. I'm gonna go 10 on his walk. 22 and 10, and or excuse me, 22 and 10 for Ben Brown. For Roki, might move his walk rate to 13, 14. I know it's at 25%. I mean, I just don't think walking 1 in 4 batters is sustainable, but it might be for maybe go 16%. That feels like the most I should tax. 22 and 16. That's a high walk rate. That's gonna spit back 1.7 walks. But he earned it, right? You gotta show me. He earned it. Brown has had an issue with lefties. I'm not gonna sit here and tell you it's a good spot for Ohtani, Freddie Freeman, whatever, dude. They got 5 runs. Play the guys that are good. Boom. Last game on the docket. We got the Rangers and Kumar Rocker taking on Brian. Woo, the Nature Boy. There's a wrestling reference in Kumar Rocker, right? Maybe the Rockers, Shawn Michaels, Marty Jannetty. Kumar, that's a White Castle movie reference, yeah. This game was weird yesterday. Kumar Rocker. Blanco got him one yesterday. I think Raleigh got him one too. Roddy Telez, Dylan Moore, Alon's Mastroboni, JP Crawford. And then Brian Wu on the bump. We got a run total for the Rangers at 3.3, the Mariners at 3.9. Rocker has been one of those guys that we say he's got that raw talent, right? Just got to put it all together. Hasn't flourished in the strikeout department and has been allowing a lot of hits. So the XFIP says that against righties, as we stretch out, if he continues doing what he's doing, he should be a little bit better at a sub 3. Against lefties, though, it's a problem. But again, it's all in small samples, so I don't think we really get to any position where we want to play Rocker, but this is a strikeout prone lineup. And just kind of comping him. You look at his minor stuff from last year. See if that stuff's continuing. 21 innings against lefties last year. 184 average, 34 Ks. That's incredible. 8 walks. 27 innings against righties, 35 Ks. So the Ks are what we're waiting on for Rocker. 3 homers in 27 innings. But it's such a quick transition. It's what we're seeing with like Jackson Job, with not so much Dolander, but there's a couple of youngsters that were getting to the big league level and they just kind of skip in some spots because their team needs them. Like the Tigers definitely need a good starter. So I think eventually we're gonna get a surprise Rocker strikeout game. And this is a high strikeout Mariners lineup. In the projected, only 2, Rowdy Telez and Mastroboni, with a sub 25% K rate against righties since the beginning of last year. So maybe this might be more like our fits and I don't know, our hunches for strikeout prices being too low. Maybe we can get something too low on Rocker. He's at 4.5. Put money on the over right now, or a little vig on the over. Maybe we look at that as lean. But I think also like Job, I mean, there's going to be a game where he just puts it together. and we start seeing him realize that strikeout potential, you get him against a high K lineup, a low average lineup, and a park that is 9% below league average and overall offensive factor. Could be soon. So like the tournament player in me wants to look at Rock, and the Mariners are implied for 3.9. That's not like crazy. Inversely, Brian Wu, 24% K rate on the season. Most of his numbers are pretty in line already with what we've seen the last 2 years. Double digit swing and strike, 20 plus K rate. The lefties are getting him more than the righties, and that's a problem. Corey Seager, Josh Smith, Jock Peterson, they can certainly take advantage of that. And this is probably going to look like a really good home run spot for like Corey Seager, who's coming to the weekend with a couple under his belt. Yeah. So I think I'm kind of here on some rate. Dude, 3.3 runs for the Rangers. So we're implying Wu for what? 2 runs? If that? 1.8? Something like that. What is our... I feel like that's low if... Wu, oh my god, Wu is like crazy vig to go 18. We got a case of Guns just an idiot, I guess. Maybe last time I was scratching my head over a line, it was like the Blue Jays, and then when the lineup came out, Vladdy Guerrero was out, and I was like, oh, okay, somebody knew. Gotta give him 18 innings, dude, or 18 outs. I don't know, man. I feel like he could be playing with fire, dude. 4, 5, 6 xFIP against lefties. I think those splits are a real danger. But it is really just 2 guys I'm mostly worried about, Seager and Jock Peterson. And then the righties just kind of get clipped up. So I'm gonna take a Ranger substack. I think those numbers will probably inflate Wu's ownership. I don't want to say inflate because I get it. And then what did the Mariners use out of the pen tonight? Mariners went to 4 arms out of the pen. Bryce Miller got through 5. So Seager, Josh Smith. Josh Smith had 2 hits yesterday. Jock Peterson did not. So we saw Trent Thornton come out, give up 2 earnings. We got 1 inning of work out of all the guys after Bryce Miller. Trent Thornton, Gabe Spire, Carlos Vargas, Andres Munoz. So all those guys would probably be available again today because they didn't pitch back-to-back days. I don't know, man. I feel like the Woo. Oh man, I'll just say it. I disagree. If we're getting this lineup, I feel like there's a little too much confidence on a 3.3 run total for the Rangers, man. Just a little bit based on Wu's lefty splits, but his righty splits are so good that even if you give up a couple hits, if you keep the lefties in the park, you can just kind of keep getting out of it. Yeah. And then Rocker, I'll say big field GPP. There's gonna be a game where his strikeout stuff is realized, and this is gonna be a strikeout team, low average strikeout team. There are some walks here, high walk rates that I'm worried about. Polanco, Raleigh, Arozarena, Dylan Moore, JP Crawford. Like, there's plenty of fire to avoid. But if Rocker just clicks, man, he's got the K stuff. So I think in big field tournaments at AK, I'm willing to grab a little bit of Rocker, a little bit of Rue, Rangers lefties. And then maybe you hedge the Rocker exposure with some of these Mariners, because if Rocker loses his own and starts putting them on, or if he's just still not good. This is like a weird four corners for a game that has like 7.5 implied runs. But that's how I'm reading it. All right, how do we spit out some Ks here? So for Rocker, I'm gonna give Rocker a 20% carry. That's a manual input, and then I'm gonna give him a 12% walk rate until he proves it otherwise, right? So we'll go 20 to 12, and then for Woo, I'll go 24 and 7, maybe 6.5, depending on how many lefties they actually do throw out. And then the money slam in the 18, I gotta give him some points towards the quality start. I'm gonna give him 2. I'll give him 3. I can see the lefties giving him 3 runs and he still kind of survives, but I'll give him 2.5. All right, and that'll give us enough action to put out a main slate pitcher projections and the main slate stack projections. So let's do that. And start bringing in Heaney, Abbott, Tyler. And dude, have I been going for 3 hours? That's kind of crazy. If you sat and watched a man talk about baseball for 3 hours, I don't know whether to thank you or say get a life. Just kidding. No, I definitely appreciate y'all. Really, I'm just researching out loud, right? This isn't some produced this, that, blah, blah, blah. I'm literally just researching, bro. Hopefully it helps. Burnsy, Woo, Heaney. Art, dude, it gets to some weird names real fast. These numbers will all kind of tighten up tomorrow. This is all loose stuff from loose projections we've been putting from tonight. As the market tightens up the out projections and the run totals and stuff, we'll see a lot of change in all that. And then for stack rating, let's do the same thing. Hit and see. If anybody is up right now in chat and you got any questions, comments, bold calls, concerns, anything that you want to look at real quick, throw it at me. And when I'm done refreshing the main slate stack rating, I'll get it up there. So if you are subscribed to MLBgrind.com, there's gonna be a lot of tabs at the bottom of the spreadsheet today. I wish it would look a little bit more aesthetically pleasing. I'm sorry. Maybe we'll do a thing soon where I can just have it all on the website. But we have created coverage for all 3 playable slates on the main slate, or on the day. DK ratings putting the Dodgers 1, Astros 2, DBACKS, Padres, Cubbies, Angels, and then it just kind of falls off. I didn't really look at weather, but I haven't put any weather grades on anything. But gosh dang it, we made it through. I do have totals in that bottom game, right? We do. Okay. And then while we're here, let's go refresh that good old-fashioned bomb detector. Actually, let's hard refresh it and do this. Now the bomb detector is showing everybody from the entire day. I'm not gonna make 3 bomb detectors. Judgy, Otani, Mookie, Gunnar Henderson, Miranda, Tucker, Art, all reset the live data, but it's only going to add 1 day of data, so it shouldn't change much. Plenty of 4s in the bomb detector today, so it could be some fun. Some of these are based off of low to no opposing sample, and we're going off of averages, like Aranda, Tucker, Brandon Lau. Keep an eye on that column, but for the most part, looking good. And then let's go refresh our projections for both sites. This is going to be all day. So keep that in mind if you're using these projections or uploading them. You're out and NA out. Man, I feel like this has been such a productive stream. I mean, we hit a lot, like a lot, and we got 3 slates worth of projections and ratings, and oh man, we broke our foot off into this one. Go over to how to properly use the bullpen usage chart. So it's more of a reference than a tool. So like, for instance, you'll see some teams that have guys that are strictly platoon hitters, meaning they're there to split a position with another player, and then the one player's good against lefties, one player's good against righties. As an example, the DBACKS, we talk about Alec Thomas and Randall Grichuk. If we see an opposing team start a lefty like we did last night, Randall Grichuk will start in the lineup like he did last night. And then when the Brewers start going to the bullpen, they bring in a righty, Alec Thomas comes in, and we saw that last night. Some teams do it, some teams don't. We also saw Pavin Smith come in for Garrett Hampson, and in a loose way you might be able to project that. I don't say project that specifically, but it'll help you feel a little bit better about playing a platoon hitter if you can go look at their bullpen and be like, all right, there's a chance this happens, there's a chance this doesn't happen. So with the most bullpens don't carry too many lefties, but the Brewers, who did use Koenig yesterday, also used Trevor Mago, and then sometimes they'll do a defensive switch anyway. That's one way to look at it. It's really something you'll reference more to kind of close the gap on a couple of tiebreakers. Some teams have really good bullpens, some teams have really bad bullpens. And if you're expecting a game to kind of go one way, you can get away from the front edge. Like Athletics, right? They have one good pitcher. I'm gonna just put it out there. One. It's Mason Miller. And you can kind of look at them and be like, you can look at their bullpen ERA. Mason Miller's at 0. Tyler Ferguson's at $1.25, whatever. These are your closer and setup guy, or your best. And then everyone else is just whatever, dude. Give me him. Jose Leclerc, 8.31 expected ERA before yesterday. ERA. And ERA for bullpen guys is always going to be super inflated or deflated just because they pitch on such short sample, and they're always going to have high K per 9. But it's just a good way to kind of reference who might come out, because you can only, when we're researching our hitters, we're researching for 2.5 implied at bats against the starter, and then there's another 2 or 2.5 implied at bats against the bullpen. So it's just kind of something we're doing. So it's not really a tool as it is a reference point. And it's also sometimes will help us eliminate a great pitcher from the game. So sometimes you might see, so like Atlanta, they threw Raisel Iglesias 3 games in a row. You'll almost never see a closer pitch 4 games in a row, right? So then you could be like, all right, this game might get a little bit crazier in the second half because they're not going to go to their big arms, stuff like that. But I wouldn't overthink that part of the process. But that's how I would use it. It's like, all right, who's going to be available? And then for instances like today, we have a bullpen game from JT Ginn, maybe? No, right? There was another guy I put for like 9.5 outs. Or Gusto. Houston, right? Houston looks like they're gonna have a bullpen game. So we look at their bullpen, and you can kind of guess who might come out. You gotta keep an eye on who might get called up though, because Luis Contreras did pitch, and we've seen him option down and up. But since they went crazy yesterday, Josh Hader and their good guys are going to be there to kind of close the back end if it's a close game. But that's kind of it. It's not something that you got to go crazy about, but it is something that I would reference when I'm rostering a platoon hitter or just taking a chance on talent for 4 or 5 at-bats and hope that one of those at-bats isn't deleted by an elite closer. Yeah, and showdowns too. You can on Fanduel, they're single games. You can't play pitchers, but on showdowns, it's really fun to kind of put them in the mix. It's kind of taking a stretch, but there would be some 1 to 2 inning middle relievers that you could kind of project to come out, and they might steal 4 strikeouts. They might steal a win if they leave and the team gets the lead. But yeah, that's what it'd be. Let's go. Strengths must hit hard. You still up? Been with you since the live this morning. Yeah, I've been going, man. I got a lot of good sleep yesterday, man. And tomorrow looks like it's gonna be a low sleep day, so I'm glad. I feel like we did a pretty thorough job on each game today. I really do. This might be the best stream I think of the year as far as balance. It's super freaking long though, so I need to go ahead and wrap it up. So we got a long day tomorrow, but I absolutely appreciate everyone that stayed up late with me. If you're watching this early in the morning, throughout the day, skipping to where you need to get to, hopefully we kind of helped with the process, and hopefully nothing changes too much. We'll re-sweep the weather tomorrow. We'll re-sweep all the run totals in the morning, and then hopefully we'll go out there and make a little bit of coin on all day baseball, man. You guys have a good Saturday. We'll probably be back if I'm awake. Get the energy. Saturday night is the expectation tonight, as we get into our typical Sunday afternoon slate of baseball. And then for Sunday, we'll call that on the fly, but maybe we'll take the night off and go with a Monday. Yeah, Monday's all late games, so maybe Monday we'll aim for a day stream, and then tonight, hopefully, I'm not a zombie and we can check out Sunday's slate. Right? That works. That works. Make sure I'm using everything. No problem, Rob. Any questions, Rob? Anyone that is subscribed to MLB Grind, any questions? I don't care if you feel like it's dumb or not. Ask me. I'll answer it. And any tools you have suggestions for, tell me. I'll converse with people that know spreadsheets, and we'll try to make it and see what so we can offer even more value to the subscription. So I appreciate you guys. I'll see you guys on the flip side, man. Tell somebody you love them. Enjoy the day. Enjoy the weekend as we start getting into our summer. I love you guys. Good luck. God bless. And go win some money.